Alright, so here's a little mod that I did with the Knightrunner. Put some new shocks in here. Proline Pro Scaler shocks, the 105 to 110 mil size. Also did a couple of other things when I put them in there. So I'll show you here. So I have those Knight Customs fender liners. One of them broke, so I just have this plastic notebook binder material that I cut out, and I use this in the back too and up here to just kind of seal everything in, so when you're filming from down low you can't see light, and it helps keep the inside a little bit cleaner too. So anyways, the main difference here is, so basically a couple things I had to do here. The shock is actually mounted at the top of this hoop, this plastic hoop right here. Normally there's this little metal piece that goes down, and then the shock is attached to that, and then that extends it. So you can see this shock, the stock shock, is quite a bit shorter than the Proline shock. So what you can do is take this off, mount this right to the top of that hoop, and then you get a lot more travel. And it actually still fits in under the body. It doesn't rub on the body at all. You can get quite a bit more articulation out of the front. And then on the back, you don't actually do anything different really on the back, other than I mounted this on the forward hole. Two mounting spots here, one here and one here. The rearward one makes it more straight up and down. The frontward one gives it a bit of an angle. Just have that mounted like normal on here. If you want to get even more travel or more lift, you can mount it to this hole right here, and that pushes the whole thing down another significant amount, but I found that that was a little too much. So this here works good. You get lots of travel, so that can move really far up. Lots of travel there, and same with the front. Get a ton of travel. And all you need to do is just put on the shocks, basically. I think I needed some longer screws and things to mount these. And the other thing with the Knightrunner, because the front end is so heavy, I actually had to put in a heavier spring. Springs that come with the Prolines are really nice, but they're really soft. And it wasn't, even with the helper spring taken out and this thing completely maxed out to the full preload, it still could barely pick the front end back up after it was compressed with the body and everything, battery and everything in there. So I found these shocks, or these springs that I had on some old random shocks lying around that were a little bit stiffer, and it seems like a decent sort of middle ground. The rears, I actually wouldn't mind if these were a little softer yet. I have these as soft as they'll go, but the rear on this is so light that it could still use a little lighter weight spring. But overall, they work so good. You can see in the test video how much articulation it's able to get and climb over things that I definitely wasn't expecting it to. And compared to how it worked before, it made a significant difference. And you can see the difference in overall length here. There's the stock shock and there's the Proline. So basically all of that equals more movement. Yeah, they work really good. I have some not the greatest oil in them right now. I ran out of the lighter weight stuff that I had, so these have a little bit of gear oil mixed with maybe 700 weight shock oil. Could probably run something a little lighter, like 500, 600. When I get some more oil, then I'll rebuild them with that. They've been holding the oil pretty well too. 2 of them haven't leaked at all, and 2 of them have had minor leaks, and I would think that's probably due to my assembly more than anything else. Take a look at the running video and see what you think, but I think this is a really good mod for this Knightrunner. This thing is pretty perfect. It's pretty perfect sort of middle ground. It looks scale, but it's not super delicate, and it performs pretty well for something that's, you know, not meant to be a super competition style, you know, crawler. It actually, in my experience anyways, has gotten around pretty well. You can see here with the body on, kind of the general sag that it gets. It just sits down just a little bit. With the batteries in there, it does it a little bit more. Yeah, I did a little bit of other different bit of stuff at the front here too, actually. So this is the Knight Customs skid plate, but it doesn't fit quite perfectly with this bumper. This bumper ends up sticking out a little bit, and there's a little bit of an overhang. So I cut the bottom of this bumper piece off here so that this could sit up flush, and then pushed this bumper in as far as it would go and drilled new holes here. So now it sits flush with the body. So you can see now this just snugs right in there and fits really clean, and it gives you a little bit better approach angle, less little nubs to hang up on. Also put in a new servo, just the Amazon special 25 kilogram little puppy, and it works really good too. So this thing is pretty awesome as it is. Doesn't need a lot of work to be really fun. The things I would say though, get a program card so that you can turn the drag brake on, because it has no drag brake and that's a pain in the ass. And the brake isn't strong enough to hold it on really steep hills, so it'll overcome the brake and then you'll kind of skid and whatever. So get the program card or get a different ESC. I think the Hobbywing 1080 is a really good one, or the Fusion combo setup, because there should be enough room for that in there. Get a better servo. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Maybe new tires, heavier wheels. I think Bauhaus makes a better steering setup, because this steering setup has got a lot of play. Isn't super good. I haven't really found many problems with it, but I'm not doing like super precision crawling, just bashing around basically. So anyways, love this thing. I really need to take this transmission apart and clean it though. I think that's my next task. So yeah,